Hey, it's going down. I got a legend in the building. Got a legend in the building, y'all. It's going down, man. Something out of nothing. Sports podcast. We talking about a legend, former HD standout running back, South Carolina State, former head coach for Coolidge, Theodore Roosevelt, amongst others. Hey, it's going down today. We got the legend in the building, man. Former HD Woodson standout running back. I want to say basketball and all that, but we're going to get into all that, man. I'd like to introduce y'all to no other former HD Woodson standout, Torrance TD Dawkins. How you doing, sir?
Man, I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great.
I'm glad to have you on my podcast, man. My fellow friend, my fellow student athlete, fellow brother, just to come on and you know, share a story with us tonight. And man, it's gonna get real live. First and foremost, man, I'd like to thank you for coming on, taking time out your day to, you know, sit with us today and share your story and get into some things that you're doing on and off the football field, court, and in business. So, you know, for the viewers that's listening and tuning in, can you give them a little background of yourself, from, you know, your name and different things like that, and we'll go from there.
Oh man, first of all, I want to say thank you. Thank you. If they don't know that you definitely was a better hooper than I was, but they don't want, you know, I don't know if they know that you was a hooper. That's first and foremost.
Man, thank you, man. Hey. I don't know about the better though, because we're gonna get into that, because you was a standout football player at Remote and at HD Woodson. You went on to go to, I think, prep, and then you went to South Carolina State, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So you was a hooper along with some other players and friends of ours, you know, and we're gonna get into that, but let the people know, you know, a little bit of who you are, and for those who don't know, it's not too many that don't know, but if you give a little background about yourself, and we'll get right on into the accolades of this evening.
Oh man, well, shoot, man, I'm Torrance TD Dawkins. Yes. Man, known Coach Torrey now.
Yes.
The background started, young playing ball at St. Gabriel's, Remote, football, basketball, baseball, you know, you named it. We played ball. Man, I mean, I can't say I accomplishing without, you know, great teammates that I've had, you know, over the years from when I started. I mean, it's a great list. All of them, they always know that I always tell them, man, thank y'all for doing what y'all did. You know, they just helped along the way. Man, right now, in my current life, man, just got an organization, AAU organization, girls organization. We're running it now from high school all the way down to second grade girls. Known DMV Hoops Academy. 2 years right now. We started right as the pandemic started with 2 teams. Now we had 6 teams. Okay. You know, so I mean, we're growing. Our motto is keep building. You know, got a great team around us. Got one of I wouldn't even call her a sidekick, but one that helps keep me going on the girls' side basketball. Her name is Dina Price. Look her up. One Hot, Hustle. She got a podcast out there. She went to Anna, so we ain't gonna hold that against her. But
okay,
she definitely, is one of the reasons that I do what I do, or able to do what I do, because you can't do it by yourself.
right.
Guy by the SBI, Ray, he also is instrumental in putting the organization together. But and that's just on that part of it, man. I done got myself back in the coaching football, at the rec, coaching 6U. Lord have mercy. Bunch of bobblehead dogs, so they look like. Actually getting out there, a young lady who played AAU ball with me, Shakina Williams. She coaches at Coolidge.
Okay.
Her son played, but just giving back. I mean, not even giving back because I worked it. So ideally the athletic director at our recreation site. So we have that program. I'm doing that. Man, and like you see in the back, Title IX. Yeah. That program right there is for. If you don't know anything about Title IX, this is the 50th year anniversary of the law, Title IX. We're giving equal rights to all and everyone. And can't, no bias based on sex, gender, or anything, or race.
Right.
We do it every year. We've been doing it the past 14 years at the DC Armory. We've had teams from Hawaii, had teams from 32 different states, and I think three countries. I think 3 different countries. Girls high school team, from girls high school teams to junior college teams, JV teams. So you have, I'm the director for the sports for that. Oh man, I don't know. I don't really, man. I'm out here just trying to help somebody, like somebody help me. That's that's the main thing.
Cool. And so, and what I want to do is start back from early on, and like we're gonna go from middle school and all the way up to current, and get into that background. So for the people that don't know, like you went to Remote Junior High School at the time. What
That's right.
What inspired you to really was it by choice that you had to go there, or was it something that you saw that make you go to Remote at that time?
Ty, was crazy. I ended up at Remote because I wanted to get out of Catholic school. Everybody was going to public school, so everybody was having fun. They was wearing what they wanted to school, and I was like, man, I can't keep wearing these penny loafers and
Right.
these, slacks and these collar shirts, and I'm like, it's hot out here. I want to have fun, because they had like the best stories in America. And then, and then you get there, then you forget about all the stories, and you live in life, and they got sports too. Yeah. Oh man, I'm gonna play sports.
Yeah.
One day, matter of fact, the guy who was my coach, I still help him now. He has a mental health job.
Okay.
That we like big brothers to kids. Mr. Jones, Coach Jones, Kevin Jones.
Okay.
Called the Happy Place. And I'm still involved with stuff like that, helping kids with mental health issues, being a big brother. But in Remote, went there in 8th grade, played basketball, shoot, with the late James Hunter.
Oh my goodness.
But shoot, can't forget the big lefty, Big Kevin.
Yeah.
I talked to him earlier today. But yeah, they said, oh, they was gonna have football, and at the time I had tried football years and years, but I was always too big to play football.
Right.
I kept missing the weight, and I was like, my father and mom was like, nah, you're not gonna play up because of your weight. And, they ain't had no, older lighter stuff and all that. You had to make the weight, right. And that sweat and stuff. And I remember running over Kenilworth trying to make the weight, spitting and sweating and running. and I still didn't make the weight. Right. I missed about 2 pounds. I missed about 2 pounds.
Yeah.
But then to come to find out that wasn't even healthy out here spitting and, but yeah, we did that. Had a pretty good run in basketball. Our 8th grade year, even our 9th grade year.
Yeah. Because
we played y'all when? 9th grade year?
Yeah, we played both years. We scrimmaged y'all 1 year, the 8th grade year, and then we came back. Well, no, what happened, what actually happened was we scrimmaged y'all 8th grade year, but then we wind up seeing y'all in the playoff game that 8th grade year. Luckily, we got in the championship that year by the skin of our teeth, and then the 9th grade year we played y'all too, man. Y'all was a tough force to reckon with, and that would give me the talk on this subject, because I want to go into you was a star running back, I think linebacker for Remote, right? And then you was recruited. I know everybody in the city was trying to get you, but then you wind up coming to the Tower of Power, the HD Woodson. And so can you just take the people that's listening into that, from, because you was a standout player in basketball. As much as you try to deny it, y'all was tough. You was a force to reckon with in basketball, but you was a hell of a football player. I never knew about that. And then you wind up coming to HD Woodson, all the way from uptown to Northeast DC. How did that come about, and what made you make that decision in coming to HD Woodson?
Well, the reason I made the decision, just like anybody, you always want the easy way. And one of the things Coach Head put on the table, he said Woodson was as close as your front door. And I mean, I didn't understand what that meant. He's like, you understand what that means? I was like, nah. He said, I mean, I'll pick you up every day. I was like, oh, pick me up every day? He said that. I immediately got on the phone. I called my man Kevin. I said, man, Kevin, he ain't gonna pick us up every day. He said, for real? I said, yep. And then that was easy. I mean, we wasn't bought with no shoes or anything like that.
Right.
But then, and also looking at the teams, and it wasn't just public schools, Carroll was heavy on us. And I speak on us, but yes, Carroll was recruiting real hard, but they had to do Clement Stokes, who went to Notre Dame there. And then one, I think whoever their academic person was, he had said something that kind of threw the whole thing off for me going to Carroll, because Carroll was like right around the corner.
Right. And
I'd always stayed going up to Carroll. I'm like, a lot of my friends, guys I went to Catholic school with, was going to Carroll. Ended up playing at Carroll. And he was like, you ain't got to worry about your grades up here. But I mean, at Rabo, I was a 3.5 student. And I got to Woodson, and I was a 3.3 student. Like, and it was heavy on grades. Like, oh nah. And then my mom was like, oh nah, never mind. I handed my mother the phone. I was like, she's like, you ain't got to worry about talking to him no more. So he killed that deal. I remember the guy, Mr. Newsom, like it was yesterday. I remember, like I said, I stayed up at Carroll. Yeah. The math was coming, calling. I was definitely not going to no all boys school. Right. Not that that matter, and I'm not gonna say nothing crazy, but yes, I was going to the all boys school.
Right.
So that knocked them out.
Yeah.
Dunbar had just won the championship. They was recruiting,
The
but they had
previous year, right?
Yeah, the previous year. And what's crazy is not so much also what Coach Henn said, but Woodson also recruited us as basketball players.
Absolutely.
Everybody else had recruited us as just playing, football. Because we had just won the first junior high school championship, tackle football championship.
Right.
So so everybody was just, just hey, football.
Right.
I mean, me and Kevin, we had football. That was our first year playing football.
Right.
So we was really born basketball.
Yeah,
Coach Smitty had asked. C was following us. Was assistant coach. Rest in peace, C.
Yep. Rest in peace.
He just recently passed away.
Yeah. I saw him. Hello. Yeah, man. TD. He kind of blew off the grid, but we gonna see if he can get right back on here. Yeah. You faded out for a minute, but
I'm still here. Am I here?
Yeah, you did now. You was just going off talking about C and him passing and stuff like that, but keep going.
Oh yeah, so C was assistant coach at Woodson basketball. He had recruited us to play, and then coach oh my God, what was our defensive coach name?
In football?
Yeah.
Oh man, Winfield?
No, not Winfield. Winfield coach D-line. Oh my God.
Oh man.
Coach Madison.
Yeah, Coach Madison.
Coach Madison and Coach Spinner was baseball coaches.
Yeah.
So they recruited us to play. I know myself, because Kevin didn't play baseball that much. Yeah. But myself, they not pay. I wish they did pay.
You hear me?
They recruited to play all sports, me to play all three sports. And so that was it made it easy. I mean, and then got transportation to school and from school. Didn't have to ride no bus until, unless we needed or I needed to. Right. Other than that, get a ride. And then, not just me coming over, a couple other people that came over. Exactly. Call Big Mike, and for the girls basketball team, Carlita Washington.
Yeah.
So, all of us from uptown, all of us that knew each other, Carlita didn't won championships. Carl and them, they won championships with us. Yeah. So, we won track championships. But yeah, so to make that transition from Rabo to uptown, it was a drive. It was the ride, and he picked us all up.
Man.
It probably was illegal, but
I don't know if it was illegal though, man, but it was a hell of a gesture, because to get two of the most dominant people in junior high, I'm like, man, I'll come pick y'all up too. If he would have said, hey, if I was driving at that time and you say, man, go get Cameron and go get Torrance, I'm going up there to get y'all, because y'all brought championships to us. I want to get into basically, so now you at HD, you a star running back. You started all 2 years, right? 2 years, yeah. Both of the 2 years, we're gonna get into like how that transpired. But the first 2 years, you the star running back, and I can remember like it was yesterday, because I was tiny, small, didn't play not a lick. At least my first year, I know I ain't played at all. I got in when we was blowing people out, but a lot of our players was kind of small at the time. Like we had me, Bush, we had Kevin Summers, all this was kind of tiny. And I remember the girls clowning us like, man, y'all, we ain't going to see y'all ain't gonna win nothing. But little did they know, man, we had TD Dawkins and Kevin and some other people that Girardi and all these guys that we was winning. And so take us through that first year, 10th grade year. You the star running back. You I guess breaking all types of records, running over everybody. How did that, how did you feel about that? And then talk about transitioning over to basketball, because you was basketball. And I remember we're gonna get into the story about the basketball situation that I never forget in my life. But can you tell the people about that, your first year being a star running back, and going into the Turkey Bowl, your first Turkey Bowl, and just bringing the championship on home to the Tower of Power?
Oh man, it was, ooh, it was uplifting. Outside of just not going in with any expectations of winning, because when we went, we played flag football that year. It was touch football.
Yeah.
And we end up, I think did we lose to the Mather? I think we lost to the Mather in flag football.
Okay.
And then going into the season, it wasn't the star running back. Steve was still there. Steve was,
he was.
Man, we shared a lot of the carries. Just when I wasn't overly, like I was owed anything because of what had happened the year before. Just went in there and just worked. Just was there every day, and when your number was called, you performed. And then when your number wasn't called, you did your assignment. So it wasn't, and then like all of y'all, hell, we started lifting weights from the time we said we was coming to Woodson.
Yeah.
Started lifting weights. We was coming up there. Hey, everybody beating up there. You go lift weights. When we could barely lift 10 pounds, 125 pounds, we all like, oh man, and at some point you just like, oh man, got to get better. But we all contributed, outside of, as in terms of they'll say, and Coach Mr. Bradford gave me the name TD. It just happened to be my initials.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. He was like, you don't even score a touchdown. It's just your initials.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, where did the name TD come from? He started that name for you?
Yeah. Well, that's my initials.
That's my initials. But nobody wasn't calling you that at first.
Bradford. Yeah. They used to. Yeah, that's Mr. Bradford called me that. He said it.
Yeah.
He started saying it over the announcers, and then I think a guy wrote an article and said said TD. So it just kind of stuck, and then everybody, people just went on with it. Not that I didn't. Then the other pressure was, hey, now it's time to live up to it. So at first, through half of the season, I was leading in touchdowns. That year, we finished. I know I finished in the top 10 in touchdowns.
Gotcha.
Scored touchdowns. And then the next year, the first year, and then the next year, we had a lot of injuries. We had a lot. Remember Wade went down, Kevin went down, Mike, Hubbard went down.
Yeah.
Oh man, who else went down?
It was a big number.
CJ was getting concussion.
Yeah.
He had to wear the mushroom cap.
Yeah. That's when I think that's when they first came out with them joints. And I'm like, man, why you got this big thing on your head? He like, man, I gotta wear this because the concussion protocol. I think that's when concussion first came out. It looked crazy though.
Exactly.
They got rid of those quick.
Right, because you was getting hit and them jokes was popping off. Like it was crazy. But yes, yes. So that's how we got to that point, man. It was just hard work. We won championships, not just because of me, because of everybody. Our first year, with Marcus Carter, like Roddy, Brian.
We was loaded.
Everybody worked. Like they worked. Like the year before, I think they didn't even make the playoffs.
Got you. The year before we got there.
Right. They didn't even make the playoffs.
Yeah, they didn't even make the playoffs. They was there. We came in and turned that thing around though.
Right.
But
right.
Yeah, what you was about to say?
No, that was it.
So boom, we win a Turkey Bowl that year. If I'm not mistaken, that year, that 10th grade year, did you do the winning run for the tie the game up? Was that you that year, or was that the 11th grade year? That was 10th grade year, right?
Yeah, 10th grade year, I caught the touchdown after I had dropped about 5 touchdowns. Wade hit me about 5 times going across the middle of Howard. It was cold though. I ain't gonna lie. It was cold. TD didn't do good in the had too much stuff on.
Right.
As I got to be a coach, I would have told the joke. I'd have told him, tell me to take them gloves off.
Right.
It was cold as a mug that day, to be honest. It was cold, but no excuse. I dropped it. But we had the opportunity to defense held up, man, and we had the opportunity. They scored. We ran one of our famous 200. Wade hit me. I told him I was gonna catch it.
Right.
He looked at me. He said, "You better." I said, "I'm gonna catch it this time." I am. We ran the same play the next. We ran the very exact same play the next play, and then Wade kept it and ran it in for a touchdown.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember that. And so I'm on the sideline just chilling, right, watching y'all do y'all thing, and I wind up winning me a jacket on the strength of the work y'all put in. But I believe I did a little something in practice to make y'all work to get to that point.
You did a lot, and in every look, I tell anybody anytime, man, it takes a whole team to win. Yeah. Matter of fact, I think I heard Don Stelly say something about those who you might not have played this much this time, but you help make those people that was playing much better in practice.
Absolutely. I remember like it was yesterday, that 10th grade year, we practiced up Howard, and I'm at corner, and I remember Ern Wells. We called him Dickie Wells. Right. And I'm playing D like it's the Super Bowl, man. And he like, man, calm down. And I'm like, man, I'm making you better. You gotta run and play like that.
That's right.
I just remember all those different things, and it made me get better, even though football really wasn't my thing. I just played because of everybody else was playing for real. Right. And so y'all made me better. I remember one time you running me over in practice. I'll never forget that. I try to come up and tackle you in practice thinking I'm doing something, and you hit me with the forearm, and I'm like, oh man, what I'm thinking about? That's TD right there. But so we win a Turkey Bowl out 10th grade year, right? Going into that 11th grade year, what was your thoughts going into the 11th grade year leading up after the 10th grade year of winning the Turkey Bowl?
Oh man, it was trying to be number one in the area. Because don't forget, we started like at 14, I think, like 14. We finished at 14 or something like that. Right. And it was to be number one in the area, because then we knew by having a good summer of a touch football season, that was going to help our ranking. So we won. We beat Curl that year when they try to play dirty, because we were beating them. Caught that touchdown. We caught a touchdown, beat them in overtime. But then so that put us in the top 10 to start off. And then we had a couple wins, trying to blow some teams out, man. And that was the thing, like, hey, man, let's try to get number one. Right. Try to get number one, and in the process, man, we probably can win another championship. Yes. I thought we was right on our way. We did. We won it again, but it wasn't without trial though. Gotcha. Like we just talked about, those guys who got hurt. I mean, we had like 4 or 5 guys who got hurt. Yeah. At critical points, but we wind up still winning. We wind up going into the Turkey Bowl that year and still wind up winning the Turkey Bowl that year. Right.
Yep, in overtime, which was we played Anacostia that year, and it was a bomb burner again. I
Right.
never forget it, up Easter, and man,
It definitely wasn't as cold as it was
the previous year.
Previous year.
Absolutely not.
I mean, always a noted fact, and I always tell Indians,
Yeah.
I don't even like to gloat on us winning, but I always say, man, look, y'all was the last team to lose at Howard, and the first team to lose at East. So y'all got history with y'all, man. So don't be sad because y'all didn't get a jacket or nothing like that.
Oh man, I know they not gonna love this when they hear this, man. But it's the truth though. It's the truth.
Right.
And so we went out second year, but let me rewind back, because I see you try to leave this part out, right? You was a football star and a basketball star. And so you come from Remote, y'all the top. I'm talking about Remote, like, was the top school in like basketball too. You got two of the top players at Remote that come to HD. Now you come in, we had a football season. Now basketball season is coming. I never forget it. I'm trying out for JV, and we playing. I think everybody on that team, me, you, Kevin, and a couple of other players.
Hey, Ty. So look, what's crazy is you talk about you don't forget it. We were just talking about that we got cussed out. Remember, we got cussed out because we was like, hey man, we need to try out for basketball before football season is over.
Yes.
So it was me, you. It was who was I know it was me, you, Kevin.
Yeah, me, you, Kevin. I remember
that.
There
was another person, and we ran the whole gym. Like we ran the gym.
Yes.
And Coach Hayden came in that joint and just like, what the hell are y'all doing? Basketball season ain't even over. Right. And like we ran the gym. When I say like check up, like we just swept the whole gym.
Right.
Swept the gym. I mean, the nigga they was getting from Evans, Guy.
Yeah.
I think Attila was even in there too.
Yep.
Was there. Blackman, Corey, right. Everybody that could hoop from on that side was in there that day. Even the returning guys.
Right.
And, I want to show that. I think, was it Yaqui? No, wasn't Yaqui wasn't on our team. It was another football person, I think, that was on our team. But anyway, we was just talking about that the other day, that we ran the gym, and they got mad. And then Smithy told us we couldn't play Boston because it's too late to try out for Boston.
Right.
We would have to play JV.
Right. And man, and I feel like that JV team, man, could have went up against the varsity, because I'm telling you, man, HD was stacked. As I look back on it, I'm like, man, it's some players that even left HD and went to other schools and prosper in that school. But did you play both years that you was there at HD basketball?
Uh-huh.
Okay. And so, because I was wondering, I'm like, man, I'm talking about, man, we were stacked, man. And I was like,
our first year we played, so when they moved us up from JV, that's when the floor had got messed up, and we was playing over at the Boys and Girls Club, number 14.
Absolutely.
And we beat, I know we beat Spingarn. We went over there and won against Spingarn. We beat Anna. Yep. And then I think we had to play Anna again. Okay. And he didn't play us. He didn't play none of the guys from JV that year.
Right.
Like after that. And we was like, that game. And then they lost, and then we didn't make the playoffs.
Exactly.
So and then the next year we was playing, and then that's when I found out I wasn't gonna be able to play my 12th grade year. Because my birthday was the 13th of June, and the cutoff was July the 1st.
Wow.
And so at that point, I had to make an executive decision. I was like, look, I need to get stronger and faster. So I was like, I'm going to run track. So, God, man, I'm about to say the track coach name.
Mr. Russell.
Yeah, Mr. Russell was like, come on, big bopper. And I told Coach Smitty, I was like, look, I was like, I'm not gonna play basketball on the next level. I'm not. I gotta
Right.
do something that's then I stopped playing because when we went down to Alabama, I was starting.
Right.
I started the whole season. And then I was just like, I told Kevin Blackman, I said, man, it's your team now, Shawty.
Yeah.
Like y'all told us before when we got on the team from JV, and they told me and Kevin like, oh man, this is our team. And
Right.
then we got up to Curl, and once he put us in the game, I don't think he took us out.
Right. And so, because I wanted them to know, like, man, he talking about I was better than him in basketball. And I'm like, man, he was a force to reckon with. You know what I'm saying? Him and Kevin, and both Kevin Blackman, and what was Kevin name? Kevin Lewis, and Kevin Blackman, man. I'm telling you, man. And then we had Keith Thaxton, and we was loaded, man. And so I just feel honored that he's like, man, you was a little better than me in basketball. And he been nice though. He been nice. He know he was better than me in basketball.
I just played hard in basketball. I wasn't that. But I can make open shot, and I play defense.
Yeah, that's awesome. So look, boom, you say you found out that after that year that you was knew that you weren't gonna be able to come back to HD. Now, what's going through your mind at this time, and what made you make the decision on going to the school that you went to, and how did that come about?
Oh man, it was tough because Coach had wrote letters, not just Coach, my mom's, a couple other people was writing letters, going to the council member and trying to get me to play. But they didn't let them. They wasn't hearing it because a couple years before I got there, that was the year when Coach was on suspension, the year before we got there.
Right.
So because of an illegal play. So it was like they wasn't listening. And it wasn't no hardship or nothing like that.
Right.
That when my birthday fell and when I was in a Catholic school, I had all started off. So but it was kind of hard. It was tough. Like, oh man, what you gonna do? Like, so I didn't know nothing about no prep school. I didn't know nothing about I'm thinking I'm just gonna have to sit out a year. I'm thinking I'm in there Woodson and working out and just being, nothing.
Right.
I don't even know how the school. It was Valley Forge Military Academy.
Right.
They the name came up, man. It was just like, oh man, you can go here and play. All right. So then I had to go through learning all of the, the tricks and trades of, which it wasn't like I didn't go to prep school. So prep school would be that I graduated and I was just doing another year, like the 13th grade, basically.
Right.
But I didn't graduate. So I went in as my senior year.
Right.
So all my credits and stuff was good for me to go to college. It wasn't too many, wasn't nothing the clearinghouse had to do differently. I just needed to pass that SAT and ended up getting the SAT on my first try. So I needed based on my GPA.
Right.
Because at the time, was what? 20 something like eligible to participate as a Division I athlete.
Can you repeat that? Because you was breaking up. Repeat what you were saying again.
I said that the clearinghouse, I didn't have to worry about the clearinghouse because everything was straight. So when I became, all I needed was the SAT score.
Gotcha.
My SAT score, and I got my SAT score the first go round.
Okay. Gotcha. So
I scored.
I
scored 8.
You ain't had to play the waiting game.
Nah, I ain't had to play the waiting game. I just had to play the game of, all right, who's still interested.
Gotcha.
I mean, I had a pretty good season. I mean, I miss the Big 33 in PA, and that's like that's the big game in Pennsylvania.
Gotcha.
I missed the Big 33 by two, like two whatever votes or
Wow.
what to participate in the Big 33. So, but I mean, that wasn't nothing. I played basketball, ended up playing. Matter of fact, the guy who running for governor now, Wes Moore, we was at Valley Forge together, and
Wow.
he played basketball. We played basketball. We was captains on the basketball team together.
Wow.
So then I'm like, all right, man, what we gonna do? Because everybody this time, trying to figure out, the school was going through what they was trying to build up their junior college program.
Right.
So they had really dogged all of our recruiting in the process. Coaches had came, Coach Head called me, like, man, did the coach from USC come up there? Mm-hmm. And I was like, Coach, I ain't heard nobody. Ain't nobody told me nothing.
Right.
He said, sure, for real. And so, they, when they come over this way, they trying to grab. Like, hey, They want you to say, and then it came down to Marshall and South Carolina State. Right. And I picked South Carolina State because it was warm. I didn't want to go nowhere cold.
you let it be known. TD don't like the cold, man.
I don't like the cold. I'm a June baby. I'm a summer baby. Well, it ain't even summer yet, but it's close enough.
I had a friend of mine. He coached football and stuff like that. He got a big prospect, so he tell his coach, he say, "Hey, I'm going wherever summer at or hot at. That's where we going. Anybody that's cold, they can forget about it."
Right.
But the thing is, when you got to go to play in them cold places, though, what you going to do?
Man, that's only for a few.
Yeah.
It's very rare that teams in cold places, teams in hot places go play in cold places because the cold teams don't want to be there neither.
I got you.
Why you think they have all the AAU and travel stuff in the hot?
Yeah, that's true.
When was the last time they had a national championship somewhere cold?
Man, I don't remember when. Never.
No way.
No way, Jose. We not doing that.
No way. Matter of fact, when I played in the Heritage Bowl in the Black National Championship, it was in Atlanta in a bowl. It was in a dome. In December, 2 days after Christmas.
Got you, man. Let me ask you this. So boom, you pick South Carolina State. You go to South Carolina State. When you go to South Carolina State, how is it? Is everything new to you? And do you stay there all 4 years and go, like, what happened? Because you say you played in the Heritage Bowl and different things of that nature. How was your career at South Carolina State coming from prep?
Oh, man. Well, one thing that I had the advantage was that from junior high school and high school, we ran the same offense, same terminology that I did when I got to South Carolina State. Wow. Now, it was a little bit some other stuff that was added to it or that they had in the playbook they had got to. But, I mean, I was already 2 or 3 steps ahead of any new cat that was coming in that trying to learn the offense.
Gotcha.
So that was, and then other than that, you just had to work. I mean, them country jokers, I mean, going to the weight room was like a religion. Like, right. You went to the weight room. Like, our offensive coordinator, Anthony Jones, he played tight end for they was the Washington Redskins at the time. Gotcha. When they won the Super Bowl. He played behind, I think, Clint Didier. I think but he was on that team, man. I mean, when I say he worked out harder than we did, like he wasn't playing. Like, it wasn't you gonna get over. You had to go to that 6 o'clock workout On the spring, you had to go to those workouts during the season.
Mm-hmm.
You had to be there. You had to be accountable.
Right.
You know what I mean? And their history, playing for Coach Jeffries, the first African American head coach at a PWI school. He coached at Wichita State. Then he also coached at Howard. So you playing with history. Like it wasn't like it ain't nothing like and back then they put their hands on you. So
right.
you could play.
Say ain't no playing with them, huh?
Nah.
Oh man. So you wind up did y'all wind up winning in the Heritage Bowl when you got there?
Nah, man, we lost. We lost to Southern. We lost to Southern University. In the Heritage Bowl.
Got you.
And then the next year we missed the Heritage Bowl.
Wow.
We missed the tournament too.
Whoa.
We missed the tournament. We lost to Hampton, and we had lost to Fan.
Okay.
So that knocked us out.
Okay. So
but
wait, I'm listening.
I'm saying other than that, and then the next year, I was there for 3 years. So the third year, we didn't make the playoffs then again because we didn't go back to the Heritage Bowl. Because for one, that was the last Heritage Bowl.
Okay. That they had that first year was the last year of the Heritage Bowl.
Right.
Got you.
Right.
Got you.
Now they got the Celebration Bowl.
Got you.
The one that they just won this year. They beat Jackson State.
Oh yeah.
Deion Sanders.
Yeah, they creamed them.
They
didn't just beat them.
Right. That was just like you weren't used to this,
Right.
This ain't no game. They taking care of business over here.
Absolutely. So boom, you go down there, you 3 years, you getting playing time, you doing your thing down there. Now, when you after your third year, are you getting looks from the league at this point? Are you trying to go that route, or do you know in your mind like, man, this is pretty much it? I'm gonna go, do some other things.
Idea was to go to finish, go back, man, came home and like every year, so every school has a pro day.
Gotcha.
So they got scouts, you come, you get measured, you get tested at a pro day. And then pro day is just not for just the seniors. It's everybody participated in pro day.
Gotcha.
So when we were doing pro day, I was like, oh shoot, man, this is something that can be done. Like this is something you can do, later on. Like it's gonna be possible. Like, right. But you look at your high, you look at what they going for. You know what I mean? It's kind of a luck of a draw. Like what's gonna happen? I had moved to fullback by my second year.
Gotcha.
So, and at that point, the guy that they had before me, he was bench pressing like, dude, the house, 2 cars and everything. I was a bench pressing all that. He pulling ties, he doing all this stuff. Like, Eugene, but they worked out. I worked out just enough.
Right.
It wasn't like no, and I was just like, pros wasn't never my thought, man. I always wanted to come and coach.
Right.
Always wanted to coach. I don't know. I mean, even when we was at Woodson,
right.
I always wanted to be. I was the other coach because I learned everything that it is to learn. All the plays, how to moving parts, how we do this, how you do that.
Gotcha.
Like I said, that's why it was so easy for when I went to state and they was going over the playbook, and I'm like, oh man, I did this in junior high school.
Right.
We ran 60 base, 40 counter.
Right.
You know, we ran speed option.
Gotcha.
We like 80 and 90 blocking. I knew all those. You just had to learn how to do it on that level.
Yes, sir.
Whereas that, the best thing they ever told me I could cut. Shit, I'm gonna cut your ass.
And so boom. I was going, you led me right into my next question what made you go into coaching? Because when I knew that you knew a lot about the game, like you didn't groom players, you know what I'm saying? You didn't taught people how to play from when they was little and different things of that. But what made you say, man, I'm going to coach now? And then at the same time, I know you from uptown. What made you go to Roosevelt and coach? Everybody want to know. I like, he getting into coaching, he going uptown? Why he ain't come back to the Tower of Power? Please tell us. The fans want to know.
The fans want to know.
The
number one reason is I didn't have a car when I came back home.
Okay.
I used to ride my bike to practice. So, matter of fact, I wasn't just coaching at Roosevelt. I was coaching at Carroll at the same time. I was coaching freshmen at Carroll and coaching varsity at Roosevelt. Carroll football practice started at 3:00.
Okay.
And went to 5. Roosevelt football practice started at 6 and went to 8. So I would coach freshmen at Carroll, ride my bike down the hill to Roosevelt practice at 6:00.
Man, that was illegal, man. You weren't supposed to be doing that. two different divisions though. That was a good grind though.
2 different divisions, 2 different skill level. Two different levels.
Right.
It was.
You ain't never try to say, hey, look, I coach at Roosevelt. Your 10th grade year. You want to come down there and play for me?
No, I never got into that. Trying to get people to leave, man. I felt people wanted to be where they wanted to be.
Yeah.
If you here, I'm gonna teach you.
Yeah.
Now I know it's a couple of kids that ended up leaving Carroll.
Okay.
That went to Roosevelt, but it wasn't because of any influence that I had.
Right.
Gotcha.
How? Go ahead. I'm listening. I'm sorry.
So yeah, it was crazy, man. Well, the crazy part, just knowing and end up and knowing kids all over the place.
Right.
It was just I never really thought about it. Like I wasn't getting paid, man. It was just I wanted to coach.
Right.
I wanted to teach the game of football.
Gotcha.
And this gave me the opportunity to do it.
Gotcha. And when you was coaching, some of them players, like, if you can name a few, if you remember, did any of them go further on and play like collegiate level or anything of that nature?
Oh shoot, yeah, a lot of them. A couple of them now coaching in themselves.
I remember
Mike Holly, 4-5 Warriors.
Okay.
Darren Drayford.
Okay.
I was at Roosevelt. He went on. He played and he got signed with Kansas City Chiefs.
Wow.
He was a basketball player. He didn't even want to play football. And I said,
Wow.
man, your money gonna be in football, man.
Gotcha.
Shoot, who else? I
was going to ask you about one kid, and I remember this like it was yesterday. It was one kid. He went to Roosevelt, if I'm not mistaken. You coached him, and he wound up getting a scholarship to like a Ivy League school. I want to say it was Princeton or one of them, Harvard or one of them. Do you remember that player at that particular?
You talking about Coolidge? He was at Coolidge.
He was at Coolidge. Okay, yeah, and he wound up getting a scholarship to one of the schools that like a Princeton or Harvard or something like that.
Cornell. He went to Cornell.
There you go.
He went to Cornell.
And is he doing good at this?
Oh man, he's what is it called? He like the youngest African American at like in the health field, like at a hospital or something.
Wow.
Like you had kids like that went there. Like a couple kids went on to the military.
Yeah.
I mean, my own brother that I coached at Roosevelt, he went on. He's in tech. So, but he finished at Florida A&M. Kid went on to Morehouse. A couple kids went on down to Morehouse. Man, one of them got his own business. Kid went over. Got a mental health agency. He went to Old Dominion.
Wow.
Now he's coming back. I mean, he's back in the city. Couple kids. Kids went to A&T. One kid didn't even play football no more. He went on to play rugby at Clemson.
Wow.
So I mean, yeah. I mean, a lot of kids went on to do a lot of things. I mean, I just happened to be there.
That's awesome, man. Awesome. Now, I'm not gonna keep you much long, but I got a couple of more questions for you.
Okay.
One of my questions was, okay, you started out at Roosevelt, right?
Well, coaching?
Far as we talking high school.
No, I coached at Curl first.
Okay, so you went.
And it just you're right. And
Curl,
then I just
Curl to Roosevelt, the Coolidge.
Yeah, Curl, Roosevelt. Then I became the head coach at Roosevelt, and then I went to Coolidge. Coach with the lady.
Now let me ask you this, man.
But hold up, don't forget, Coach Head was there too at Coolidge.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Coach Head was there.
On what aspect? What level?
He was the coach's coach, as he would say. He was the coach's coach. He was there to teach the coaches.
Got you.
But he ended up coaching the line. I was the offensive coordinator. He was our line coach.
Got you.
And I was bringing in this zone blocking scheme.
Got you.
And he was he liked learning too. So
yeah,
he dove into it.
Man, that's awesome. So you wind up being an offensive coordinator, but then you wind up for the football, but then you wind up coaching girls basketball up there too, right?
Right.
You the head coach up there for girls basketball, right?
Yes.
Man, how did they get you to do that?
Oh man, they knew I was. Somebody asked me would I interview for the job. Because actually I interviewed to be the AD. I was going to try to be the AD.
Okay.
Then somebody like, why don't you try to interview for? Because I wasn't a teacher, they didn't want me to be. They didn't give me the job.
Gotcha.
I mean, I had the conditionals, but I didn't have like certifications and stuff like that. But I coached travel ball, and some of the girls that played at Coolidge played for me on AAU.
Gotcha. That's
so then I coached that year.
That's what's up. Did y'all wind up getting far in the playoffs that year or winning the championship or anything of that nature?
Yeah, we ended up finishing. We finished sixth, but then we ended up making it to the states.
Ooh.
We made it to the states. We lost to Georgetown Day.
Okay.
In the states. That was the first. I want to say that was the first year of the states.
Gotcha. My next question off that, man, man, your career went from, star running back. I always say you was the star running back, basketball phenom, and then you had this career from you went high school prep, South Carolina State, then you went into coaching, and all this bottled up. But I got one question for you that what did Coach Head mean to you in your life? Far as what did he mean to you? Like, because I know what he meant to me, but we talking to you.
He was an example of a man, and that he worked for the kids. Like he was always helping kids. Like, man, like it was almost like kind of bringing tears to my eyes to say it, but like my grandfather played ball, and he passed early in my life. My dad, he had made some decisions that kept him away from being in my life.
Right.
But not that he wasn't in my life, but being physically there.
Gotcha.
Talk to him all the time.
Yeah.
But when I met like Mr. Jones, my junior high school coach, went to Woodson.
Wow.
Then I got to Woodson. When I got to Woodson and met Coach Head, and just being around him on a regular every day,
Right.
he wasn't smoking, not drinking, or any of those things. He just worked. He coached football, he coached basketball, and then I heard that he used to coach softball.
Yeah.
Right. So he was just a classic example of someone who was consistent, who was there for you no matter what. He would always, when you went to school, he'd say, "Hey, look, you got 2 collect calls." That's the only time he would come.
Yeah.
When I went to state, he came down. When we played Hampton, he came to the game. Him and Coach Madison, they drove down because we were playing Kernan and Willie.
Okay.
Because they went to Hampton.
Yeah.
When we played, they came to the game. Like, that was the thing. Like,
yeah.
Like, to know that somebody's going to be there. Matter of fact, he came to my graduation.
Wow.
When I was in prep school, he
Wow.
came to the graduation. Like, and so to now to turn around and now to be in a position, I might not be coaching in school no more, but still involved with kids. Hey, you having something? I'll be there.
Got you.
I'll be there. So yeah, he meant the world. He meant a lot.
Man.
He didn't replace my father or my grandfather. He was just it was an example that the Lord put in my eyes so I could see it.
Yep. Absolutely.
So, but yeah.
Yeah, man. Oh man, you got me over here shaking up and shaking because man, oh man, he definitely is a legend, like for everybody, man. When you go, you say Coach Head, man. I remember, man. I went to Fairville State, leaving Woodson, and man, I'm wearing my jacket down there, and I'm not recruited or nothing. I wasn't a football guy. They like, hey, you want to play football? Who you used to play for? I bring up Coach Head, and it's like, oh yeah, you can come and play for us. They ain't even know my skill set. I'm like, man, you want me to play? I don't play no football, man. But when you bring Coach Head name up, man, it just goes so far. So I definitely know what you mean. Now, just before I let you go, I want you to because now you're working with kids and you got your own organization and different things like that. To wrap it up, can you tell the people what TD Torrance Dawkins is doing now and what is Title IX and other things that you got going on? What is that all about?
Oh man, shoot, what I got going on is life, man. Just having the opportunity to be in these kids' life, to be an example. With DMV Hoops Academy, man, we into developing young girls to be better basketball players, to get scholarships, to go on to the next level, to be good citizens in the community. That's the whole concept of what the DMV is about. DMV Hoops Academy is about, like, from second grade all the way through high school. We'll support you no matter what. If you're with us today, you're not tomorrow. But once you come through our doors, you're always accepted. It doesn't matter where you at from here. We always gonna show you love. Title IX, man. The Title IX event is December the 27th through the 30th. The 27th is the conference. They have speakers. We still recruiting teams from across the country to come and participate in the event. Man, it's a tournament. They play three games over 3 days in front of college coaches, and they get to meet kids from other states and countries.
Wow.
We have teams from Canada, teams from the Virgin Islands, teams as far as, like I said, Hawaii earlier, California. So yes, some of the best teams play here at this event. As you know, the motto is the best place to be in the winter.
Wow. Wow. And how long has this been going on? Since
14 years.
I'm definitely
I
gonna
haven't been involved with it for 14 years, but
yeah.
I'm probably been around 7. I mean, matter of fact, when they was first getting involved, I was the head coach at Coolidge, and I had a chance to sit at the table and meet some of the stakeholders,
Gotcha.
like Miss Thompson, who back then, then you have who all started it, Miss Johnson, Janice Johnson, who was her idea to help get her daughter and some girls that went to Woodson now.
Wow.
That went to Woodson some scholarships to school because they just didn't know the process.
Gotcha.
So they developed this program,
Gotcha.
and then later on I get involved,
Gotcha.
and Coach Henn is still involved with that too. So he called me. Matter of fact, he called me the other day.
Okay.
But yeah.
Hey man, coach is a good dude. Like I remember he was telling it, like, because when we was going to school, he was teaching PE and he taught us how to stay in shape because he looked good for his age, man. And he was talking about how you gotta work your face muscles and different things like that that stay so you wouldn't look old and wrinkled up and stuff like that. He like, your face got muscles, don't you? You gotta work your muscles in your face. I'm like,
God, did we room that day he fell out the chair?
No. No. What day was that? I probably heard about it though. I know when you say that, I know that's being talked about. And then he probably joked about it himself.
Oh man, it was funny. It was real funny. He missed the chair. The chair had wheels and it slid from under.
He gonna get you on this. If he see this, he gonna say, why you bring that up? But
right.
TD, today, what would you tell a student athlete or any student that's trying to go to the next level? What would you tell them today?
Oh man, I'll tell them, hey man, put God first, family, and your books, and press on. Like, whatever your dream is, it can be accomplished. You have to work though, but you have to work. That's the number one thing that we're missing. Our kids are missing. I believe that they're missing is the work that we have enabled them. Our generation has taken a lot from them because we thought it was hard for us, but it was part of the process. That's what made us who we are. That's what made us the go-getters, to go and do things and to inspire to do things. But yeah, you have to work. Like, no, you have to work every day. Every sweat counts. Sweat equity counts. All right, and I'm stop.
Last, anything that you didn't get to say that you want to say, to the audience now that we missed anything?
Continue to tune in to what you talking about, man. This is a great platform. I appreciate being here, even being considered. Like I said earlier, if you don't know, Ty can hoop. Ty can hoop. He played he was Carmelo Anthony before Carmelo Anthony. He wasn't the fastest. He wasn't the fastest, but you couldn't leave him open, and he had a great IQ in basketball. I would say that honestly.
Oh man, thank you, man. You give me
Carmelo. You wouldn't be passed up. You wouldn't be passed up and picking. Like, you wouldn't pass him up picking him. Like, hold on, what you mean? Oh man, we gonna take him right there. We taking time.
I take it, man. Compared to Carmelo, I'm good. I'm hands down. Man, I appreciate you, man, getting on this platform with me, man. This won't be the last time out. I'm definitely gonna get into some things that you in. I'm definitely gonna be at that Title IX event, and you whether you know it or not, I look up to you, man. You like a big brother to me. you setting the stone high. When I first found out that you coach, I'm like, man, I want a coaching job. I'm, you know, and everybody knew at that time, like, man, he's looking for a coaching job. He's looking for a coaching job. And I finally got one. I'm up, what was up, Francis Stevens at School Without Walls, man. And now I'm trying to, you know, get into the high school part of it. But I'm here for the kids. If you need me, man, it's Coach J224@gmail.com. You can hit my YouTube channel up. That's at Coach J. And I'm here for you. Before you go, TD, how can the people reach you that want to get their kids into everything you got going on?
Oh man, I am. What am I? Oh man, you got me on this one. I know you can reach if you want to follow us. I mean, you can email me at for Title IX for TD Dawkins at sankofaproject.org.
Okay.
You can reach me at DMV Hoops Academy. I mean, that's on all platforms. That's on Facebook. That's on Instagram. On Twitter is DMVHA Ha DMV Ha. That's for Twitter. I don't think we own anything else.
Got you. Hey man.
Oh, unless you want to just follow me.
Yeah. They might.
Taz. I think it's Taz Satori. You know, my alter ego, my Taz.
Got you.
Taz Satori on Instagram.
There you go.
And then, you know, Facebook is, I think, Master Sports Coach. Something, I don't know. Yeah, something like that.
Hey, when it all fails, you type in Torrance Dawkins.
Yeah, I'm not nobody, so yeah, you can come. You know, you can text. You type my name in, and then you right there. 2 R's and an A, no E.
Hey man, it's been a pleasure, man. I like I said, man. I thank you for your time, man. I done held you for a good minute. We definitely would do it again, man. People, you know, inspired. The reason why I wanted to get started because it's people that, you know, we played with. It's people that was before us that, you know, they might didn't make it to the league or whatever, but they good contributors in the community. They still are upstanding citizens, and so you are one of them people that holds that title, man. And like I said, that I looked up to, and doing the same things that you doing the same things that I wanted to do. So I'm like, man, I got to get him on here because this was a legend. This was a legend. I don't even know. Like you set the standard at Woodson, at running back, man. Because yeah, Steve was there, but in all fairness, they was losing. They wasn't winning when Steve was back there. They started.
They had some other running backs before me, Ty.
I get that.
Legit guys. They had some real legit.
They did, but guess what?
And after me with the Carters.
That's
Dante
true. That's true. Well, you know, he you know, my man, he Roper, you know, so I know about him. You know, I knew we got a couple of people back there, you know, but in all fairness, it was, even though, and shout out to Steve and the rest of them guys, man.
Mike Hubbard.
Mike Hubbard was it? Oh man, Mike Hubbard. Man, Mike Hubbard, y'all was the ones that first started the 1-2 combination. Like you, Steve, then when Steve graduated, you, Mike Hubbard, and then we had you set the precedent though. You and them guys, you know, paved the way for the rest of these guys, along with, you know, Steve and all that. But hey, man, you was one of them, you know. And I just want to thank you for coming on, man. And you know, TD Dawkins, guys, man, it don't get no better than that, man. So again, appreciate you coming on. We're gonna end it like this, man, and we'll have you back. Definitely. All right, man. I appreciate
you. Keep me in the loop, Si.
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right, baby.
Peace.